This is a little watercolour exercise, getting to know our watercolour palette. And I've been making these little bookmarks from watercolour card. You don't have to use the expensive stuff, but you can if you want to, and then you'll get to know the flow of the water and how the card reacts to that. Getting to know our palette, so choosing 3 primaries or 6 primaries, 3 warm, 3 cool, like I did in my last video, and then doing a bit of an abstract swatching and doodling session on top. So if you like the idea of doing that, these are great for tucking into journals and then using them for journaling on the back, or just using them as a bookmark in your usual reading book. So let's get started. So for this, pick your colours. I'm going to use the primaries, so I've set out my 3 cool primaries and 3 warm primaries, and I did those in my last video, so I'll put that at the end so that you can check that out. And I'll add a little bit of water to those. That's my palette. You also need some water, a decent brush. I use a 12 round because I just find it's a really good all-rounder, and we're just sloshing the paint on today, so that's really useful. I always keep little strips of watercolour card when I've cut off for perfect sizes when I'm doing actual artwork. So I always keep these for swatching, just the little strips that I cut off. This is just cheap printer card, which is it is really great actually for watercolour, but you can use the good stuff if you want. So keep your scraps of that because it's really good for this sort of thing. But you know, this isn't a masterpiece, so use it if you want to, but you don't have to. And then we're going to do some just abstract marks on our little offcuts of card. So this is a really great way of getting to know your watercolours, because you'll see how they mix well together and what sort of colours will happen when you merge them. So I'm using these warm primaries, and I'm just popping them in this little drawer that I happen to have to hand. I really should have changed my paint water because it's looking a little bit muddy at the moment. I've got 2 pots and I switch, so I've got one that I use for the really dirty brushes and then I move it into the clean pot, but even my clean pot's looking a little bit grim at the moment, so I'm definitely mixing in the palette at the moment. So here we go. So I've got my 3 primaries here, and what I'm going to do is literally just slosh on a bit of my paint. And what I like to do is just mix in the palette and just see how a couple of the colours work well together, and just use that, not thinking too much about it, but just use that to create little swatches of colour down there, and then that just provides a nice little swish of colour. And then I'm going to add some of the red in as well and just dot that around to see how that interacts and make it really nice and abstract. Let's get a bit more of that bright, lovely bright red down here. Maybe add a little bit to the blue and make it a little bit more purpley. It's a bit muddy now. And basically that is it. So I'm just using the 3 colours. That one's very random, a lot of dark of the red there because I've managed to mix it really before it went on there. So that's basically what I'm doing, so just sloshing it on. So I've got some here that I made earlier and using the same technique, but as they've dried you can see that they've provided a lovely background, very abstract, and the colours have mixed beautifully, but I've managed to keep some of that lovely crisp colour in the middle. So we'll see how that one dries, but basically that's it, just sloshing on the colour. So that's stage 1. So for the first one that I did, you can see I actually put my swatches down sort of separately, so I had them with a little bit of space around, and I really quite like the way that works, so that would look quite nice. And then I just laid up some sort of mauvey purple around the outside, and then when it had dried completely, I took some pens, fine liners and I used Posca pen, and also I think my jelly roll. So I just picked black and white pens of different widths and just went in and did a little bit of doodling. This one I picked just a double heart and then added a few little scribbles and dots, and then to balance that out I went in with my white pen and again just added a few little scribbles and a few little dots and a few little hash marks, and that turned out, I thought, really nicely. And then just added a little bit of ribbon. Now there are lots of different abstract marks you can make on these, so I've got a few examples that might give you some ideas. So for this one I started out by drawing some thicker black lines and then went around trying to sort of stick to the same sort of flow and used a finer black liner and just made some extra marks around there just to sort of carry on that flow, and then repeated that again with an even thinner fine liner in black, and then went over some of those lines with my jelly roll. And then to really make black, the thick black line pop, I went in with my Posca pen and added a little bit of white to one side of those lines, and I thought that looked quite nice. So that was nice and sort of flowy, so that looked quite good. So another idea could be to add some shapes, geometric shapes, and stick to similar sort of shapes. So we could just add some little triangles and just go down and add a few of those. They don't have to be perfect, and just add a few of those. We could add a few squares into the mix, just something really simple. Give them a bit of space, a bit of breathing room in between, and maybe a few circles as well in there. And if we alternate and go in again with the white pen, we could add a few. This isn't working very well, is it? I think it's got to the end of its life, but we could add a few of the same shapes, but where it's nice and dark, if we add some of the white pen in there, and then maybe just add a few lines just to do something a little bit different. So maybe a few more little circles, maybe a cross here and there, and just add a few geometric shapes in there and see how that turns out. And the next idea, again, just using the paint markers, just add a few really random shapes. So they don't have to be the same. They can literally just be just some random shapes, almost like you're sort of splattering it on there. Just add a few little marks, just something really random. Just go up and see what connects with you. You could even add numbers or letters, something a little bit different, and maybe use that original idea of some of the sort of flowing lines as well. But just be really fast, don't think about it too much. Use lines of different weights and just don't think about it. Basically, just keep it all nice and abstract. Just a few little scribbles on there, and just go with the flow and let your brain relax and just enjoy what it's doing. So that's my third and last one I'm going to do here is, if you've got something like a pen lid or a little top of some description, just use that to do your initial starting line. Like that, put it on my desk, and then use that just like we did with the swirly lines. If we just use that as our initial line to get us going, we can then just take that and really simply just use that as our guide. We can make some of the lines thicker and some of them thinner. Remember, this doesn't have to be perfect. If you've got some dies that sort of are nesting dies, they might work as templates. Let's go in and see what that looks like with some white in between. You could even add in there some coloured lines if you wanted something that goes with the watercolour that you've already done. So this one's got a lot of purple in, so you could add a striking purple or something to really contrast. I've got a nice blue here, so maybe adding a nice blue in there as well. But just use the first line as a guide and then keep feeding outwards. And you can make your lines nice and thick by using a marker, like this one's a Tombow calligraphy marker, I think it is, or some of the paint markers have nice chisel tips, so you'd be able to get a really nice thick line with those. Or just go back in and widen the line just to make the thickness a bit different. And you can go in with some thinner ones, and then that varies that. I've not done a particularly neat job of this one, and if you use templates or something to draw around, that would look neater. But this is abstract, so like I say, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's fun and it can take your mind off things, calm you, get you in the flow for doing other artwork. So even after I've added the white paint there, I can go back in and just neaten up my line. So you can really build it up using different colours. I've added a little bit of gold in there as well, a few dots, a few little stitched marks, and it soon looks super, as long as you keep the colours sort of consistent with what's going on with the background. To finish it off, if you want, decide which way up you want it. Just grab yourself a little hole punch and sort of do it approximately in the middle. Punch yourself a little hole. Grab yourself a bit of thinner ribbon, or punch yourself a bigger hole if you want to use larger ribbon. Slot that into your hole and fold that doubled up through the hole, and then in the loop just pass the two strands through and pull it tight, and then you've got yourself, that's a messy desk, isn't it? Then you've got yourself a nice ribbon on the top. You could always add a little bit of glue to keep that in place. So there are a few ideas for you. Hope you found it useful. If you have, give me a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and we'll do probably another watercolour exercise then. Take care. Bye.